Unlucky for me, but lucky for you all, my computer died. Because my computer died, I had to get a new computer, so we're now on my new computer. This is Windows 11, and it is not set up for programming Proffieboard. I don't have Arduino, I don't have nothing on here. So I'm going to have to install Arduino, the Arduino plugin. I'm going to have to run Zadig, the whole 9 yards. And, I've never done a full walkthrough like this because my computer was already set up, and I never wanted to go and mess around with Zadig or download an Arduino. So let's go and search for the first thing we need to do here, which is Proffieboard. So we're going to search for Proffieboard and scroll down here and let's go to this Proffieboard V2 page here. And, once you're on this Proffieboard 2.2 page, you can see here, where it says all the things that you need to make the Proffieboard run. We're going to go to software page because we need all the software that makes the Proffieboard do all the cool stuff. And here's a list of everything we need to get. Arduino, the Proffieboard plugin. There's a lot of stuff that we need to get there. And the actual Proffie OS. But we need to download, I guess the first things first, we're going to download Arduino. So I click on the link there, and we're at the Arduino downloading page, and we're going to, the latest version of Arduino is 2.0, but I'm going to download 1.8.19 from Windows, so you can see 1.819 is a previous version. I'm not going to donate this time. We're just going to download the file. So you can see it's downloading up there in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to get all kinds of Windows security alerts here. Yada, yada. Agree there. Yada, yada. Yeah. And in we go. So we're installing Arduino onto the computer. This is 1.8.19. This is the version of Arduino that we're installing, which is the version that I like to use. There's been a bunch of feedback on the Crucible about the 2.0 version of Arduino, so that's why I'm using an older version. But I don't think there's anything really wrong with 2.0. It's just it's a newer version, and I'm wanting to download one I'm familiar with. So I did 1.8.19. I mean, I used a really old version of Arduino for years. Would you like to? Yep. Okay, click here. Yeah. All these security alerts. Brand new computer obviously doesn't like Arduino because of all the code on it, but it looks like our install is finished there. We're out of there. Let's go minimize this window. Let's make sure Arduino is there. And there's our shortcut for Arduino right there. So, our Arduino is done. We'll come back to that later. You never really use that shortcut anyway. But now we need to go back to the Proffieboard page. I'm going to scroll back down here, and we need to go click on the software page. What's the next thing we need? It looks like the next thing we need is going to be the Proffieboard plugin. You got, let's go, yeah. So when you go to the Proffieboard plugin page, you've got to scroll down, and then it gives you the instructions for the Proffieboard plugin. So when you want to install the Proffieboard plugin, you have to go to Preferences in Arduino, and then you put in this web address, this long web address that's right there, the HTTPS address. That has to go in this window in the Preferences tab. You'll see it here in a minute. My last computer wouldn't let me copy and paste. Let's see if this one will let me copy and paste this address into Arduino, because typing it's a pain, but I've had to manually type this address in to every computer I've set up. So I'm hoping Windows 11 maybe will let me type in, cut and paste in Arduino. Ooh, Windows does not like Windows does not like Arduino. We've given all kinds of security alerts there. All right, so now we've got Arduino open, and I got to find this preferences. I can't remember. It's edit. I don't think it's there. not in tools, file. Oh, there it is, preferences. Click on preferences in the file tab, down to preferences. And you see down here in the bottom this other URLs, you know, board managers, other URLs. That's where we're going to be entering that address that we had on the instructions for the Proffie plugin. Basically, this plugin is just a it's a tool that helps Arduino communicate with the Proffieboard. So it's a modification of Arduino so that it can communicate with Proffieboard. That's all the plugin is. But you've got to have this plugin, or you know, you cannot program Proffieboards. And this plugin allows you to program Proffieboard 1, 2, and 3. Now you see I'm having to type this manually. This is a pain in the ass. Wouldn't let me copy and paste, so trying to put these windows together. Every time I click in this window, the thing goes away, so I'm going to have to do it from memory. Yada yada. Yep. Yep. What's the rest of it here? Is that looking right? Index.json. All right. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Yep. Sorry, having to manually type all this in. It's a pain in the butt. But I'm double checking here. I think everything's okay. Okay. So now we're going to close out of this preferences tab. We put in our address down there. Now we're going to go install the plugin now that we've got the address. So now that we've got the address, it basically tells Arduino where it needs to go so we can download this thing. So let's go to the Tools tab. We're going to come down to Boards in Tools. You go down to Boards. Boards, and then you slide over straight over to the top. That list is Boards Manager, and we're going to click on that. And then if we scroll down to the bottom of this, we'll see, you know, Proffieboard, Frederick Cuban A, something like that. And there you see it. Frederick Cuban A, you know, Proffieboard plugin is one, you know, whatever version this is. This is the latest version. This is one you need to work with OS 6. And it's installing. And you can see the progress bar down on the bottom. You know, the progress bar down on the bottom lets us know that it's definitely installing the Proffieboard plugin. So, you know, we're definitely cooking with oil here. We're doing pretty good. This plugin does take some time to download, but just be patient with it. All right, it's installed. There it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Our Proffieboard plugin is installed, and it's just that easy. You know, we just had to add that web address for the plugin in the Preferences tab under File, Preferences, and other boards managers URLs, and here we are. So we've done that URL. So now what do we need? Well, let's see. Next is we've installed the plugin. Next is Teensy Duino. Now I need Teensy Duino because I still program Teensy stuff. I still have 2 lightsabers running, Teensy Saber, and I do other stuff in Teensy, but I'm not going to mess around with Teensy Arduino tonight. I'm going to leave that alone. If you're not installing Teensy Sabers, just you don't need Teensy Arduino anymore. And I guess we're to the point where we'll talk about sounds and the sound packs in another video. But let's go ahead and now it's time to download the main OS. You always hear Fernando talking about OS 7 or OS 6. Well, here it is, where it says download version 6.7 here. This is the latest version of the Proffie OS that's available to the public and is safe. Now there's later versions than this, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. But you can certainly download the safe tested version here, and there it is, and it's a Proffie OS folder, just like that. So I'm extracting it to the desktop here, and let's close out this window, and there you go. Now I'm going to come over here, I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm trying to figure out this new computer. I mean, everything's changed on Windows 11. New folder, there we go. And I'm going to call this folder 6.7 because that's the version of the OS it is. I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to come over here and grab our OS that we just downloaded and put it in the 6.7 folder. Because that's where I want it. Right in this 6.7 folder. This is just how I do it. You don't have to do this. Bada bing, it's on my desktop. We're good to go. We're solid there. So now we have OS 6.7 on our desktop. Let's go ahead and open this. You have all your folders in there, and then you have the Proffios.eno, and that is basically that opens Arduino, but with the Proffios sketch already in it. Oop, I had it. There we go. I was zooming in and out there. Still figuring out this computer, y'all. But now Arduino is open from within the Proffios folder, but this is OS 6.7 that's opened up. When you open your Proffios folder and you see that Proffios.eno, yeah, let's plug in. We're going to plug in a Proffieboard here, and we're going to see if it sees it. Hey, look at there, Com3 Proffieboard. It sees it, so it saw the Proffieboard in the port. That's pretty awesome. So all that works. That's cool because on Windows 10 you couldn't see the Proffieboard until you installed until you ran Zadig. But on Windows 11 you can see the Proffieboard. It's right there. It's pretty cool. That's awesome. That's slick. So at least that's a little bit of help. All right, closing out of that. The next step's going to be we're going to have to talk about Zadig. Zadig is that one thing that's a pain in the butt. The one thing I will say about Zadig is that Zadig is a once and done thing, or Zadig, however you say it. Once you run Zadig and you put the proper drivers on your computer, that's it. You never have to do it again. If you run Zadig again, you'll mess up your drivers. You'll have the wrong drivers on, and then you have to watch Frederick's video, which is linked down at the bottom of this page to fix it. So to get back to the instructions for Zadig, you have to go back to the Proffieboard plugin, and below the directions for Proffieboard plugin that we've already looked at, which you see that web address we put in preferences, then you see OS specific setup. You got Linux, and then you got Windows, and here you go. You got to download Zadig. You got to plug in your Proffieboard, and you're gonna toggle the reset button while you're holding the boot button down. You're gonna let Windows look for drivers. Then you're gonna open Zadig, and then you're gonna change the driver to this driver specified here. So that's what we're gonna do, because we obviously need the new driver. To prove that we need the new driver, I'm gonna try. Like I've got a sketch already, ready to go here, and I got my Proffieboard plugged in. My port is selected, and I'm gonna try and. So right now I'm just compiling this sketch to make sure it's going to be clear because I just popped it in the I just popped this in the folder. Now look, I'll have another video showing you guys how to program Proffie and how to write a config file. Okay, so there you go. The config works. So now let's go ahead and let's make sure we got the port selected, and let's go ahead and uh, and program. So okay, there's the port gone through Proffieboard. All right, let's upload. So let's upload this to the Proffieboard. Now this is probably not going to work because we haven't run Zadig yet, or Zadig. So it's compiling right now. It's compiling the sketch, and let's see. Oh, yeah. Cannot open DFU device, and you get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is not a valid program, y'all. So the computer and Arduino still cannot communicate with the Proffieboard because we don't have the proper drivers. So we're going to have to go and run Zadig or Zadig. Still messing around here. So the port's grayed out. I unplugged my Proffieboard and plugged it back in. That's the beeping you hear. Now I'm going to close out of that. Oh, yep. Up there it pops up again. So I just had to refresh it by unplugging it and plugging it back in. But we've got to run Zadig. So my Proffieboard's plugged in to the computer. We're going to follow the directions here on what to do with Zadig. So I'm going to go back to our Proffieboard page. And let's go get the instructions for Zadig. So we go to our Proffieboard page and scroll down. We click on the link for software. And then we click on the link for Proffieboard plugin. Here, click. And then we scroll down below all that, build a carb, and you get, okay, here we get to the Zadig and the bootloader mess. This is what we got to do. This is the next step of the instructions we're on. So we got to download Zadig. I've already done that. And it's shortcuts on my desktop. We got to plug our Proffieboard into the computer, and we're going to toggle reset while we're holding down boot. And we're going to do that in a minute. But let me pull up the 1.5 website, because actually I got a Proffieboard 1.5 plugged in. That's the schematics on 1.5. I don't need that. I need the actual board diagram. So I don't remember which one's boot, which one's reset. Yep, click back. All right. Proffieboard 1.5. All right, so one on the left is boot, one on the right is reset. So there you go. So what does it say we need to do? It says we need to plug it in and toggle reset while holding down boot. So we're going to hold down the button on the left while we push the button on the right while it's plugged into the computer. And what that's going to do is that's going to put the Proffieboard into bootloader mode, and that's what we want. Once the Proffie's in bootloader mode, then Zadig can find the right driver for us. So that's basically what we're doing here. So let's do this. Let's hold down boot and press reset. See if you hear. Yep. Up. So there you hear the computer beeping. So it recognized that it's in bootloader mode. And Proffieboard is in bootloader mode. And now we're going to open up Zadig. And we're going to do this whole thing with Zadig. And the computer's probably going to give me security warnings on Zadig, but ooh. All right, so there you see we got STM bootloader is already showing up in the devices. And I think this is the right driver that already shows up for it. Let's just check the numbers here. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. That's the driver number. Blah, 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 blah. Let's double check and make sure it's the same. Yep, same numbers. All good. So then we want to click, I guess we're going to install this driver. It's a little bit different than what Frederick wrote there on what I'm seeing here, but I'm pretty sure we just install this driver. Install now. Yeah. Here we go. Scary. Bada bing. Now listen, once you do this with Zadig one time with your computer, you should never have to do this again, unless you mess up the drivers. But Zadig is a once and done thing. This isn't every time you program your Proffieboard. We're setting up a computer that was not set up for program Proffieboards. And we're having to run Zadig this one time. Now, after I run Zadig, all I do is plug my Proffieboard in and program it. I don't have to run Zadig anymore. I just open Proffie from within whatever OS I'm programming on. 6.7 is what we downloaded tonight. And then I'm uploading. So don't do Zadig more than once. Only do Zadig once. If you do it more than once, you got the wrong driver on your computer. Then you got to go watch Frederick's video. Fix your computer. Okay. So there we go. Plug back in. Now let's see if I can see my port in Arduino, and I can. There it is. COM3 Proffieboard. I'm going to select that port. Let's go ahead and upload. So it's the same config we already compiled earlier, and you can see that it's rolling. Keep those puppies rolling, right. And let's see what kind of a message we get once it starts. Oop, bam. That's how we're supposed to look when we're compiling down here at the bottom. Try scroll. Dang it. So down here at the bottom is the progress bar. Those equal signs, you see them growing, and the number here is growing in percentages. That's how we know that the program is successful and that Arduino is successfully communicating with our Proffieboard because we did the right driver with Zadig. So we're in business. Now look, I'll have another video on how to program your Proffieboard. I'm just testing it to show you guys what a successful install looks like. You know, when you're programming a Proffieboard, you should see this, you know, the bar ticking up percentages at the bottom of the screen. You know, you shouldn't see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you see that, it's not right. You know, it's done. So it's totally done, uploading 100%. You know, that's awesome. And all these other messages are totally normal after, you know, you uploaded your Proffieboard. So basically, let's go look at it in the serial monitor. And yep, if I wave the Proffieboard around a little bit, I mean, there's no SD card in this thing, so there's no sounds. And I don't think there's any gesture controls on this, but I'm just waving it around. That's what you're seeing. So, you know, obviously the Proffieboard's working. So that's pretty cool. So that's done. Awesome sauce. Our computer's set up and ready to program Proffieboards. Now, let's show you the video on YouTube. If you search, let's see, Proffieboard, Hubbe, H-U-B-B-E, and then scroll down. Oh, see that dude on the airplane thing? Proffieboard, Zadig, and ports walkthrough. That's Frederick's video that you need to watch. Click. I'll put the link to this video in the description so you guys can watch it. But if you guys screw up Zadig, or if you've run Zadig more than once, or you don't have the right driver, you keep getting a countdown on there, you can post your problem in the Crucible, but the best thing to do first is watch this video and see if you can fix your computer. It's a good video by Frederick. So I hope that helps a bunch of you, and you know, it's bad for me, but good for y'all. My computer died, but I got a new computer and got the video this set up on a new computer. It's pretty awesome. Thank y'all for watching. Hope this helps somebody, and we'll see you the next time. Thank you everybody for watching as usual. I really appreciate y'all tuning in on my channel. And as always,